To make a long story short, I was talking to a girl who is the cousin of one of my friends who is from Colombia, right? Met her last year through social media. I sent her a DM because he gave me her Instagram. This was like January of 2023. The problem is I didn't come back to Colombia until 3 months after that. And by then she already had a boyfriend. So I said, all right, cool. I stopped talking to her for a long time. I didn't reconnect with her until the summer of 2023. And even then, she was still talking to Buddy, but I think things were a little bit rocky, right? So I kept it cordial, sending messages back and forth every now and again. About a year later, February of 2024, I reconnect with her. Finally able to meet up with her physically for the second time, because I had met her prior the year before, but it was cool, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't even really much of a date. We all just kind of met up to hang out. Her cousin, who was my friend, her, a couple other people. You know how they do in Colombia, they go out in groups and they hang out. So it was more of like a family friends thing that we met up in El Centro to eat and just all hang out and talk. So it was more of a informal meetup. Anyways, fast forward February 2024. Talking to her. I'm in Cartagena for 2 weeks. In 2 weeks, it seems like, we really hit things off. We're going out on dates. I took her out let's say 3 times within a 10-day period. She came by twice to where I was staying. I didn't even really press up on her, but the point is I took her out to a couple of really nice places, and this time I was kind of taking my time. Number one, she was from the barrio, so she wasn't a girl that's used to talking to gringos. She wasn't on any dating apps. She was different. Now, I'm not saying that I foolishly believe that she was different, because all women have to be put through a vetting process, as you know this, fellas, so that you know that you're making good decisions. But here's the thing, I think I gave her a little bit too much of a benefit of the doubt, because she is the cousin of a good friend of mine, and because she didn't fit the stereotype of the girl who's in Hollywood Beach, the girl who's going to Androgano and all these other spots that are filled with gringos, the girl who's on Tinder, Bumble, Colombian Cupid, the dating app grift when it comes to how women are searching for the come up, sugar babies, or customers. And again, I'm not judging any of that stuff. What I'm saying is, if you're looking for something more serious and committed, you don't want to be looking in those areas. Anyways, so I come back and I go to Cartagena last week, but before I went, one of my homeboys was telling me, not to mention, when I was there a couple months ago, hanging out with her, I met her family, everything seemed like it was good. Now, fast forward to the week before I went to Cartagena, which was 2 weeks ago. Homeboy tells me that, hey man, this girl's been talking about you. She's been saying that you would cheat, you didn't know how to treat a woman, you didn't know any of this stuff. And I was like, what? How? What? I done fed this chick 5 times, in a matter of a week and a half. What's she talking about? Here's the thing. Her own sister was saying this because her sister works at a salon that my homeboy's girl goes to, right? Which is crazy. And here's the thing. I said, okay, I'm not going to say anything. Maybe I'll address it. Maybe I won't. Maybe I'll just leave her on red. Maybe I'll leave it alone. I wasn't sure what I was going to do, but 2 days before I go to Cartagena, remember, this was just 2 weeks ago, I was in Cartagena for a week, which was last week. So 2 weeks ago, 2 days before I go to Cartagena, she sends me a message about a cell phone telling me, a certain message, which I was like, oh, okay, this is quite convenient. Is this a test? Now, let's go into the messages. These messages are translated on Google Translate. As you can see, I took a picture of my screen because I know most people here don't know Spanish like that. So bear with me on the language. It's not going to be exactly proper English. She says, I wanted to tell you that you're almost coming to Cartagena. I have been told that the cheapest cell phones are there. She means here in the U.S. If you ever have the opportunity to stop by a store to find out how much it costs and tell me so I can find out if it is within my budget and tell you if you can bring it and I will pay you for it. Yeah, right. And of course I said, yes, I'll check the phone. Yes, I will. She says, thank you. And I said, well, what kind of phone are you looking for? Of course she says an iPhone. Now, I didn't know she was going to say iPhone 13 Pro Max. Now, I get it. We are on the iPhone 16. and it's 3 generations behind, but it's still expensive. Plus she wanted the Pro Max because, of course, lifestyle, look cool in front of her friends. I got the iPhone Pro Max. I got some gringo American dude to buy it for me who I'm not even in a relationship with, truly haven't committed to, haven't done anything with. Entitlement much? We'll get into that. And I said, well, what's your budget? And she said, tell me what the price is and I'll tell you. Obviously, as you know, there's no iPhone 13 Pro, let alone Pro Max, under the price of $500. And remember, the average Colombian salary is somewhere in between $300 to $500. This girl has no job. She's in her early 20s, living at home in college. You do the math. That would be like a girl in the US asking for a phone that costs over $2,000. Who this girl is unemployed. I told her, they cost $600 here. Of course, takes a 3-minute pause. I understand. I'll keep it in mind. If anything happens, I'll let you know. Thank you. I didn't respond because I knew, okay, you're trying to test me, trying to finesse me, even after knowing me for over a year, even after having a dope about 2 weeks with me, even, me feeding you several times, even after me meeting your family, even after you knowing that I'm a good dude because I am good friends with your cousin that you grew up your entire life with. If you don't have the wherewithal or the sense to know something good, then you obviously don't deserve it, shorty. Anyways, I didn't hit her up when I was in Cartagena. Just 2 days later when I came, because I know she'd see my stories and ask me, and then we were going to address all this foolishness. She says, where are you now? This is the day I arrived in Cartagena. She was watching my stories and I didn't hit her up. She thought she was so important. Not really. I said, I'm in Cartagena now. She says, what are you doing tomorrow? I said, what are you doing tomorrow? She says, but I don't like to talk too much. I don't like what happened, so I'd rather not talk anymore. I wish you a nice vacation. Take care. Bye. I didn't like what happened. What happened? And this is what I'm saying. She's already entitled. She said she didn't like what happened. What happened? That I didn't inform you that I was coming to Cartagena, even though I did? I told her. Right? I told her. And then I said, the truth is, I know you've been talking about me. They're very disrespectful. I was going to mention it in person, but that's okay. I don't have time for that. She said, well, since you mention it, what have I been talking about? If you're an adult, you have the ability to be clear. And if they're telling you something I think is disrespectful, that you did not tell me. And the only thing I have mentioned about you is that you are not very detail-oriented, and I have told you that myself. But I don't like wasting my time neither. Cap. Pure cap. No. The only thing she said to me was that I wasn't attentive enough as far as, like, I guess hitting her up every day and sweating her. It's like, yeah, because I have things to do. I'm busy. I don't got time to be all up on you every day. Plus, she's in school every day, 5 days a week, all day. I got a life, shorty. Then I said, I know it's true because of who repeated what you said, but it doesn't matter now. I don't owe you anything because I spent time with you because I thought you were cool, but apparently you still have to learn how to evaluate a person's worth. This is part of the problem that I'll get into after I read this last message. And she says, I don't owe you anything either, and I also thought you were different, but I can't be immature by saying that I didn't like meeting you. You can't have a bad opinion of me. I was never a self-interested person. That's a lie. Blatant lie. I work for my things. How? She doesn't work. She's in school. She doesn't have a job. Another lie. On the other hand, I advise you to learn more about trying to make a woman feel special. What, after 10 days of dating you and taking you out 3 times in 10 days, am I supposed to take you shopping? Like, I'm not a simp. Money doesn't grow on trees. You're broke. You don't make any money. You live at home. You're a college student. Ego much? On the other hand, I advise you to learn more about trying to make a woman feel special. Maybe that's what makes it difficult for you to have something aside. More arrogance. How does she know what I have? You've been talking to me semi-seriously for all of, a month? And really only hanging out with me really for 10 days of that month? How do you know what I have going on? She's that self-absorbed. I'm not calling her a narcissist. I'm just saying that's a narcissistic trait. Like, you're not the only thing in the world that's important. All right? I could be talking to someone else. I never made it official with her. Again, the lack of ability to self-evaluate. Already starting off not in a good place as a young woman. Right? And this is partially because she's very attractive. And this is what happens. A lot of simps pay attention, sweater on Instagram or whatever. And now, magically, your Instagram is public. It used to be private. Okay. Get more attention, more attention, more attention. It's a drug. And she says, maybe that's what makes it difficult for you to have something stable, laughable. I know what a great woman I am and how much I'm worth. How do you know that? No, your worth is evaluated by what type of value you bring to the man that you're interested in. No, right? When it comes to the dating market, your worth is evaluated by the level and the quality of men that you attract for a serious commitment, not by what you make up in your head. Now, of course, her life is priceless when it comes to the value of her life according to human life, but with dating, nah, son. And I said, cool, you have the right, and you are not an honest person who talks about others behind their back, and you will never have a good relationship until you change. And that's what it is. Now, for me, I just think that's funny. 3 things. Number 1, I'll say this, fellas, always remember that you are the prize when you go overseas and just in life in general, but you have to work to earn that place. And for me, I have, and I still am. So when you go overseas, remember that you're the prize. A lot of times, guys go overseas and they get distracted by the woman's beauty, because there are so many beautiful women in Latin America. And when you get distracted by her beauty, you don't properly evaluate your level. Regardless of how old she is or what she has going on, more times than not, if you're in the DR, Brazil, Colombia, wherever, you're the one that's going to change her life. It's not really the other way around. Yes, she'll bring you peace and other things if she's a good woman, but let's be honest here. You're the one that's going to elevate the quality of her life instantly, almost overnight. Overnight. Even if you're making average income as an American and you figured out how to do it remotely, you will elevate the over 95% of women's lives overseas that you decide to commit to instantly. Instantly. Beauty is not scarce over there. So that's the first thing, right? And I know a lot of guys know that, but they don't really know it by experience. I don't know by experience. And even myself, I kind of gave her the benefit of the doubt because she wasn't on dating apps. She wasn't, on the track, on the streets looking for or selling a bit, or she wasn't on the beach or in El Centro at night or at the club or whatever. But she still has a backwards mindset. Still cocky, still entitled. Still couldn't evaluate value, even though your own family members have already confirmed it to you. Your own cousin has told you, yo, Koby, I've known Koby for almost 2 years. He's one of the best dudes I've ever met. And he's met a lot of American guys. He even told her, like, yo, this is a good dude, solid guy. You didn't have the patience. She didn't have the patience. Who cares about that? It's in the past. It's gone. It's about you, fellas, understanding your value, knowing that you're the prize. Continue to get your money up, stay in shape, learn the language, become cultured, do all those things. Stop sweating these girls because they're beauty. Stop falling in love with working girls, mangoes, even regular girls. Stop acting out of position of scarcity. Have that abundance mindset. Number 2, take your time. Regardless of what they say in the West, that you got to be married by a certain age. I need a family by a certain age. I need kids by a certain age. You don't need none of that. I don't care if you're 55 years old and you meet a girl who's 28. Give it 2 years. Give it 6 months. Give it 12 months. Get to know her. Get to know her, man. Because if you rush it because you feel like you're running out of time, the stress she brings on your life will actually shorten your life. Believe me, it's not worth it. Take your time. And number 3, believe the red flags. Don't skip over them. Like when I met this girl, one of the first things that was a red flag was I suggested a place to go to. I was like, yo, let's just meet at the mall. She was like, oh, what are we going to do at the mall? Where are we going to go? And I was like, yo, let's meet us there. Meet me there. We'll find something to do, and we'll meet there and we'll hang out and it'll be fun. And then she sends me another restaurant to go to. And here's the funny thing. I was actually going to take her to that restaurant. But the fact that she sent me that turned me off. And I said to myself, that's a small thing, but it's a red flag. She can't take direction. Can't take direction. Another thing, the way she dressed, revealing her body. And I'm like, hey, listen, I'm not here to judge you. Do what you do. But I'm looking for a woman who's more so conservative like me. Doing selfies every day on Instagram and stories and all that stuff. Dressing like you're going to the club even when you're not. And I know to some degree that may be a Latin thing. So it's something that I'm still kind of learning, but I'm not into that. I don't care, because I've met girls that don't dress in overly sensual ways to continuously get attention from men. Nah, I'm good. Once again, it's better to be with a woman that's slightly less attractive, that's more attractive here. Right? I'm telling you, especially if you're talking about something long term. She had several red flags. They were subtle because she had green flags too. Family oriented, again, not on the apps, knows how to cook, in school, educated, a little bit shy. Cool. Mindset was still warped. Started to do the independent women talk. And I said, all right, cool. That's when I knew it was going to be a wrap. But I knew that even after that 10 days, which is why that 10 days hanging out with her, I had already checked out. So I laughed when I heard she was talking about me. But I was surprised, because dudes are messing it up out there. Like, why do these girls think you're just supposed to Western Union them for no reason? For no reason. I ain't getting nothing from this chick. And that's cool. But I say that to say this. You're the prize. Take your time and believe the red flags. Stop being so thirsty. Stop being desperate. And just believe that what you want is out there. Just be willing to do the work. But I wanted to show you a text chain from a good girl, even after I had been a gentleman and had already gotten the thumbs up from her family members. She still fumbled the bag. Anyways, thank you for tuning in. Like, share, subscribe. I'll see y'all on the next one.